One, let's start with what happened yesterday, because she has gone viral, all right? She's gone viral over hot girls eat Arby's. Yeah, she was wearing this outfit, this arrangement into the Chicago Sky game. Of course, the Indiana Fever, I would like to say, beat the brakes off the Sky, but really it felt like they underachieved a good bit yesterday.
Sophie Cunningham unintentionally took up the whole WNBA news cycle while sporting an Arby shirt. Fast food merchandise is suddenly outperforming ticket sales after one tagline received 800,000 views. Even if you tried, you couldn't plan for this kind of pandemonium. Angel Reese was silent and salty, most likely both. What began as a joke may have just revealed the league's most significant marketing issue. It's not curly fries either. This goes beyond just fashion. It's a complete and utter upheaval because Sophie became the focus rather than merely wearing the clothing. Grab your tray.
Cunningham's t-shirt became a marketing phenomenon. Sophie Cunningham currently plays for the Indiana Fever and has now become one of the most recognizable WNBA players. And for Barbie night, she pulled up wearing a shirt that said "Hot Girls Eat Arby's," and the internet lost it. But here's the real backstory. A few months earlier, Sophie posted a video rating Arby's. And that video is just her being authentic in herself. And that puppy went viral.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and give Arby's a solid 9 out of 10.
Then following this, the phrase "Hot Girls Eat Arby's" started flying around. And it turns out that Arby's has been saying this since 2023.
The WNBA changed somewhere along the line. It's more about side glances, brand fights, and viral turmoil than basketball. The game is optional. The talent was rarely acknowledged. The drama is always at the forefront. The shot timers seem to be counting down to the next tweet rather than the next bucket. And Sophie Cunningham was quietly igniting the internet amid this off-court commotion. With an Arby's shirt and no pretense, not a crossover. Just charm and curly fries, no subweets or theatrics. Sophie became a headliner, while others do the same. In a league in dire need of realism, she unintentionally added too much seasoning. And for some reason, it struck more forcefully than any buzzer beater.
Know somebody that has gotten ridiculously popular this year with the Indiana Fever? I made a prediction that she was going to be the second most popular player on this team by the end of the year. And then, of course, there was the big incident during the Connecticut Sun game. And by the end of that game, she was known as Caitlin Clark's enforcer, right? The one that's got her back. At times, it feels like the only one that's got her back, if I'm being quite honest.
Please subscribe to our channel and leave a like if you're having fun. ISO plays are not being run by her. The truth is being isolated by her. No filters, no glam squad, no performance art passed off as personality. Just vibes, curly fries, and a t-shirt that unintentionally embodied the league's whole marketing plan. Sophie Cunningham remains unconcerned as others try to gain influence through manufactured feuds and TikToks that seem more like a love and basketball revival than professional athletics. Simple talk and 800K shirts flying off the racks like it's a discount sale. No tricks, no thirst traps. In an image-obsessed league, Sophie's winning with something crazy. Genuineness. And that seems to be the true MVP move.
Sophie Cunningham has broken the internet in multiple ways over the last day. All right, the other day before the Chicago Sky game, this Barbie, and let's be real, let's be honest. If you were going to cast somebody as Barbie, there's a good chance you'd take a long, hard look at Sophie Cunningham.
It's as if someone let some honesty in through a broken window. Additionally, a few glued-on lashes were knocked loose based on the fluttering motions. Because the league freaks out when someone like Sophie Cunningham begins to get serious attention. The selected mold does not apply to her. The Instagram echo chamber does not include her. After shooting 2 for 10, she isn't out here dancing in the middle of the night. Furthermore, she isn't clinging to staged friendships in order to remain in the discourse. It seems that she is exactly what people were waiting for, off-brand and off-script.
talk about Arby's. She is now on the Arby's payroll. Decided that it was a match made in roast beef heaven. Hot girls eat Arby's. No knock on Arby's, Sophie, but if you give Arby's 9 out of 10, I'll take you to Racks. I'll buy you some Racks, and I think you will find that hot girls probably eat Racks. Arby's has a new spokeswoman, and it just so happens to be Sophie Cunningham. Yeah, that's right. Sophie Cunningham, who took to her social media to discuss how much she enjoyed a trip that she made to Arby's. And
Sophie is just present in a league full of performances, which is why people are drawn to her. No filters, no wigs, and no personality disguise production meetings, just bluntness, basketball, and an oddly potent Arby's tea. Perhaps that is just what supporters are hankering after. Real hoopers behaving like hoopers. Crazy, huh? Caitlin Clark changed the story without asking for the same reason. Additionally, the reason why Aaliyah Boston cuts through the clutter like a human lie detector. These women are just being iconic. They aren't trying to get viral. And it seems that poses a concern since the league's smoke and mirror branding began to short-circuit when viewers began to fall for the uncensored and unscripted, which brings up the awkward reality that nobody likes to discuss aloud. What are we accomplishing at all if the WNBA still can't figure out how to turn dominating black women into superstars? The talent is incredible. There is no denying its presence. However, rather of enhancing it, the machine continues to favor gimmicks over excellence, TikTok influence over perseverance, catchphrases over court vision, and hairstyles over handles. Additionally, the league is losing more money as a result of that disconnect than views.
100,000 followers overnight. I don't know if you guys knew, she had like 300 or something less than 48 hours ago. Insane. The enforcer has arrived. And she even posted like twice since then, bro. She's totally taken it to a whole new level. Like, Caitlin Clark has a new star. This is like a new star in the WNBA. People ain't gonna like it. People aren't gonna like it. Trace Leches, you know what I'm saying? Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hull, which, by the way, kind of was obsessed with her before she even came along.
It's beginning to resemble a beauty pageant with sneakers more than a basketball league. There are no points or assists in the currency. Selfies, subtweets, and who has the most eye-catching nails are all part of it. The true hoopers, those who grind, remain focused, and let their game speak, get lost in the commotion amid all that noise. That's why it struck so forcefully. Real versus algorithmic, a t-shirt and a smile. No character, no glam team. Sophie broke the code without selling the illusion, and all of a sudden, the players who had based their relevance on attitude without output are shaken. When the focus didn't go as planned, the same voices advocating for visibility became very quiet. Because being effortlessly real is the fastest way to reveal the performative.
The thing I like about Sophie is that she's tough. So when Caitlin Clark last week, or not last week, a couple days ago, when Caitlin Clark got destroyed, her girl Sophie came to her defense, and this was the most beast mode thing that I've seen a woman do in WNBA history. Now, Sophie, who's my one of my favorites now, she's become one of my favorite WNBA players. I'm gonna watch her too, like I watch Caitlin. Look at what she did, and people may not say that this was in response or whatever the case may be, but I feel like Sophie is like, you want to play?
Because the manufactured chaos crowd didn't anticipate Sophie's arrival, she is the nightmare, someone who is beloved by fans, but isn't produced. Here's the worst part, though. Sophie was never the exclusive focus of this. It concerns what she stands for. A change in what followers are genuinely craving. Not influencers and sneakers, not cheesy reality show plots, but athletes who are authentic, who show up, play hard, maintain their composure, and who don't have to fabricate controversy every week to make the news. A public relations campaign was not part of Sophie's ascent. It was honest, consistent, and just strange enough to be relatable. Why does authenticity pose such a threat? Perhaps the league should recognize those who are already living it instead of pursuing phony relatability. Those who can demonstrate their belonging without the need for a press-on nail sponsorship or a TikTok duet. They're not clamoring for attention. They're deserving of it. And that's precisely the reason it matters.
To the arena yesterday, wearing that, there she is right there. Let's just bring this up. Over at Tater Report, there she is right there. Hot girls eat Arby's. I can only imagine, and I have no idea. I would assume this is some kind of sponsorship with Arby's, right? Right there. I don't know. The roast beef sandwich jokes just sort of write themselves at this point. And just like that, I want a cheddar melt.
Fans may be drawn to players like Sophie, Caitlin, and Aaliyah for that reason. They are genuine, not because they are ostentatious. They are pursuing victories, not influence, specifically. Furthermore, the most interesting storyline is the one that no one created in a league that has been attempting to write every plot point. All of a sudden, a t-shirt featuring fast food is creating more buzz than the league's last 3 marketing initiatives combined. Players who don't use any gimmicks are getting more attention than drama queens who spend 3 times as much on public relations. Fans are finally tired of the noise, which is why the story is changing. Not because of some branding genius. Sophie, however, simply smiles, sends another 100,000 shirts, and returns to being herself without apology. To be clear, though, this was not luck. It wasn't just that she threw on an Arby's tee that made her go viral. This was no coincidence. It was simplicity cloaked in strategy. Sophie was playing 4D chess with roast beef and relatability, while the other players in the league were honing their TikTok dances and sending out passive-aggressive tweets. Just a gradual burn that grew into a wildfire. No spin, no antics. Additionally, some people are rushing to catch up now that the rules have changed. She's not making this up. She is adhering to a plan. Every action is planned. Everything about the delivery, the tone, the timing, the effortlessness is deliberate. Sophie has the brand awareness of a Madison Avenue executive and the emotional intelligence of a therapist. It wasn't a ploy, that Arby shirt. It was a superb stroke with little effort and great effect. Because Sophie doesn't perform for clout like half of the league does. She's planning it out. And the fact that it dispels the illusion that you need disruption, controversy, and non-stop noise to get attention makes people very uneasy. Sophie maintained her authenticity and simplicity, and all of a sudden, everyone else's mirror and smoke performances began to seem like dollar store magic. The outcome is the same whether she planned everything out or simply followed her instincts. She is a part of a larger change. A change fueled by Aaliyah Boston's grounded supremacy and the Caitlin Clark influence. And Sophie just demonstrated that sometimes the most impactful message is the one that isn't trying so hard in a league that tries to choreograph every plot point.
Say that when you are good at basketball, you're pretty, and you got grit, those 3 things make you bad to the bone. And I think this is one of it's new trends that's going on in the WNBA, in my personal opinion, is that not only will you be good at basketball, but you also, some of these women will look like women, right? And used to look like dudes. But now they look like beautiful women that are playing basketball. And one thing I like about Sophie is that she's tough.
Before most people even understood the shift was occurring, she noticed it. Last season, she saw Caitlin Clark attract viewers who were unaware of what a pick and roll was. Without a word, she observed Aaliyah, the enforcer Boston command, distributing blocks and receipts like a VIP bouncer on game night. And since she isn't acting, it's landing. No forced vulnerability or sympathy plays, just assurance, consistency, and clarity. Let's face it, unless a woman matches their carefully manicured model, some people don't want her to be that strategic, that effective, and that beloved. The one that yells, be loud, create drama, increase your fan base, and perhaps will allow you to trend. Sophie, however, did not attend the audition. Seeing the opportunity, she filled it with a plan and an Arby's tee, making herself indisputable. No shout-outs or antics, just cunning. And whether the gatekeepers like it or not, she is now establishing a new benchmark.
Take a look, because Arby saw this and decided that it was a match made in roast beef heaven.
Like, not bad.
They weren't dissuaded, obviously, by the little shade that she threw at them there between enjoying her yummy sandwich, saying that she went away. She doesn't have it often for obvious reasons. Well, what are those obvious reasons, Sophie? Anyway, she is now on the Arby's payroll.
This is the part that hurts the most. She deserved it. Well earned. Every single bit of the achievement. This isn't a coincidence. It's not a rush of unintentional likes. It's sincerity wrapped in strategy. This isn't a ploy. It's a game. Additionally, the people who centered their entire brand on playing the role of the face are now discovering that they weren't the franchise player. They merely served as a filler, or attracting large audiences due to their genuine regard, or selling out merchandise because they have earned sincere respect and trust, not because they made fun of others on Instagram. That rather than practice drama and clickbait rivalry, they choose talent, passion, and genuineness. And that becomes increasingly clear the more women like Sophie rise. Naturally, though, the backlash begins to appear. Subtle jabs, sidelong glances, and trivial muttering that attempt to minimize the situation, as if she's simply fortunate or that Caitlyn brought in new admirers is the only reason. As if Sophie hadn't taken advantage of the moment with superb timing.
If you can see right here, that's Sophie Cunningham. She is the teammate of the year, or at least the Caitlyn Clark she is. After Caitlyn Clark was pushed to the ground and poked in the eye in the first half of a game against the Phoenix Mercury, she actually late in the game assaulted one of the Phoenix Mercury players in retaliation. And fans loved it. They ate it up because look at this. If you look closely, her following on TikTok went from over 300,000, which was great, to almost well over 800,000, probably at 1 million now.
As if seizing the initiative and transforming it into something enduring weren't precisely what the league ought to be doing, that rather than discarding it on yet another marketing plan that appears to have been conceived by a group of perplexed influencers. The irony hurts. The WNBA begged for attention for years, and now that it's finally here, thanks to genuine ones like Sophie and Caitlyn, the enforcer, it doesn't know how to deal with it unless their pre-approved mascots steal the show. The fact that Sophie is claiming her value out here is even more dangerous. People can smell authenticity through the screen, so even though she isn't trying to get attention, it continues finding her. You can't help but notice how phony everything else seems once you see it.